return of the, am I saying this right, manticore? Okay. I just want to make, now what is, I'll ask them. I've never heard that word manticore. It sounds like something you might step in. Like, oh, damn, manticore all over my foot. Please welcome Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
Just kept on raining, a veil of tears for the virgin birth. And I remember one Christmas morning, a winter's light and a distant choir, and the peal of a bell and that Christmas tree smell, their eyes full of tinsel and fire. They sold me a silent night, and they told me a fairy story, till I believed in the Israelite, and I believed in Father Christmas, and I looked to the sky with excited eyes, then I woke with a yawn in the first light of dawn, and I saw him and through his disguise. And I wish you a brave new year. All anguish, pain, and sadness, leave your heart and let your road be clear. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. Hallelujah, Noel, be it heaven or hell, the Christmas we get we deserve.
Thank you, guys. Johnny Britt, sing. Yeah.
Arsinio Hall Show is brought to you by new Hershey's Hugs, mini Hershey's Kisses hugged by white chocolate, and by Sudafed Sinus, it clears you up fast without slowing you down, and by 1-800-COLLECT, America's inexpensive way to call someone collect. Use it every time you make a long-distance collect call.
I don't know if I said Michael Wolff and Everett Harp tonight. Did I say Everett Harp? Michael
no,
Wolff?
you didn't.
I should say that. That's Michael Wolff, our conductor, maestro. And that's Everett Harp on saxophone. Yes. Let's start at Manticore. I know it was in a song a long time ago, and it was also like a label name or something?
Originally, yeah. Way back in the Atlantic days, we decided to have our own record label. because there were so many really fine young acts in Europe. And we put the label together with Atlantic, and we had various bands on this label, and it meant a lot to us at the very beginning. A lot of bands from Italy and, you know, places like that. It was fine.
I mean, it was a time when certain styles of music really couldn't get onto major labels.
Yeah.
And because we were unusual ourselves, you know, playing sort of classical music and sort of progressive things, that we kind of identified with it, and we thought we'd just have this little label, you know, to try and bring some new bands through. But the Manticore originally was on an album called Tarkus, and it's a mythological animal made up of a scorpion's tail, and a lion's body, and a man's head.
Yeah.
If you can believe that.
Something we all aspire to be, right?
Yeah, okay. We'll move on.
Moving right on.
Let's talk about you guys. How have you changed since those early days?
We're older.
We're older, yeah.
That's probably about it. But the music has evolved, but I don't know if I can put it into words.
Well, I mean, there's much more sort of technology these days. There's many more things to use to create the music. I mean, obviously, the individual players, the writers are still the main thing, but there are many more tools to use to enhance it now. That's the difference between now and the 70s when we started.
Yeah. What do you think about music now compared to the 70s? What do you think about the direction that music is going in?
Well, I'm not too impressed with it, to be quite honest. You know, I've got two sons which introduced me to a lot of the new music. And
Like what kind of stuff does he turn you on to?
things like, Pearl Jam, stuff like that.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
And yeah, because, you know, it's interesting.
And what do you think of this stuff? I mean, generally speaking.
When I think of the
Yeah,
modern...
generally speaking of today's stuff.
I think it's great. I think rap music has got its points. You know, it's street music, and rather like how the classical composers used to use folk music to be inspired by. I think that rap music has got a little way to go yet. You know, I don't quite understand some of the lyrics which are going on, but the rhythms are good.
Yeah. How about the musicianship out there right now?
I think the musicianship's good. It's just that the whole of music has become more market-led than music-led, I think. You know, people have become very market-conscious about it. And I hear there's a sort of undercurrent of frustration, I hear, when musicians, to a large extent, have to conform to be able to get on the radio or to be able to do this. I mean, we're in the fortunate position where we started a long time ago and have built up a fan base. So for us, it's different. But I would hate to have to start now. It would be terribly difficult.
That's not what you told me this morning.
I told you not to tell him. Are you really?
What do you all listen to when you're chilling?
Oh, different things, personally. I mean, I do like Pearl Jam, as it happens. I think they're one of the few bands that have come through with an identifiable sound, you know. Obviously, that Seattle thing has taken over in quite a big way. I listen to everything, really, from classical to jazz to funk, you know, you name it. If it's good, I'll listen to it. That's how I view music in general.
Yeah. What do you think?
What do I listen to? I listen to jazz, classical. I love the early jazz of the sort of like late 50s, early 60s, like people like Monk.
What was your first big gig, you remember?
The first big gig was the Isle of Wight Festival. I remember it because we did the actual first show was in a tiny little town in the south of England. And we were very nervous and we didn't really know what was going to happen. And it was great, but it was in this tiny little place. The very next day, it was, I don't know, 600,000 people. And we'd been booked to play on this festival, and literally we became sort of internationally known. Pretty much it was a sort of star overnight thing, you know.
Who else was at the festival?
Oh,
Jimi
Jimi
Hendrix,
Hendrix, The Doors, yeah.
Janis Joplin, you name it. Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
It was one of those all-time great festivals. The kind of thing you don't see too much of today, which is a shame, you know.
I don't know why they don't do those things
More
anymore.
event value then.
Great.
Today they don't have this shop event value, you know. There's not those big festivals. It'd be nice to see that happen in the coming summer.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer, RuPaul next.